Now it's time to listen up, Lincoln Elementary. I'm Addie.
And I'm Carter. Good morning and welcome to Lincoln Live. We are fifth graders sharing the news that you need to know.
Remember, this is a day, if you see someone without a smile, give them one of yours.
Today is Tuesday, January 16th, 2024, and it is a C day.
Moving on to our morning greeting, choose one you like best, pat on the back or raise the roof.
Here's our own meteorologist, Kalijah, with the latest and greatest weather report. Take it away, Kalijah.
The predicted temperature today is 10 degrees and windy. Hopefully we have inside recess, but check with your teacher to be sure. Have a Tiptoe Tuesday. Back to you, Linkers.
For school lunch today, we are having a chicken pie sandwich, mashed potatoes, and gravy, chilled fruit, and milk.
Let's enjoy some special announcements.
Miss Jordan is here with some exciting information.
Good morning, Lincoln Elementary. I hope everyone had a great extra day off this week and that everyone slept in and you're back and refreshed and ready to go. I do have a couple really important announcements. One is I want to remind everybody what our January noticing is. It is to work hard. And what that means is that it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't even have to always be right. It's about trying to do your best. So what we're asking you to remember and to do this month is to do your best and to work hard at whatever you do, whether it's walking in the hallway, working on a math test, anything. We just want you to work hard. We have something special and new that we're doing. You may have noticed it for the first time last week, but now, whenever your teacher is out, you have the opportunity to earn some extra recess. You may have noticed, or you will notice, that the next time you have a sub, they're going to have these sub-day golden tickets. It is up to your entire class to earn this ticket throughout the day while your teacher is out. When your teacher is out, she shouldn't have to worry about if you're following directions or not. But if you are, there will be a very specific prize for you. So whether you're in gym, your regular class, whether it's a whole day or a half day, your class can work together to earn this sub-day golden ticket. And if your class earns this, you get an extra 10 minutes of recess whenever your teacher decides to use that. So the next time your teacher's out, work extra hard to earn that ticket together. Before we left in December, our noticing was to act responsibly. And I do have our winners of our book golden tickets. So our golden coins will be going to the following students. Bear with me, it's a long list. In kindergarten, in Mrs. Kovach's class, Lily and Adam. In Mrs. Magnuson's class, Michael and Marin. In Mrs. Lopez's class, Brigham and Arzu. In Miss Rumsey's class, Braxton and Paloma. And in Miss Sullivan's class, Ronan and Acha. In first grade for Mrs. Barnhart, Jocelyn is going to be this month's noticing. For Miss Kogar, Chloe and Simba. In Mrs. Dimmerling, Anna and Oliver. In Mrs. Murray, Camden and Nari. And in Mrs. Terry's class, Brennan and Madison. For second grade, in Miss Ingram, Atticus and Hudson. In Miss Charney, Caden and Abby. In Mrs. Hughie, Lucy and Ella. In Mrs. Kittinger, Ella and Ryan. I'm sorry, I made a mistake. In Mrs. Hughie, it's Abby and Lucy. And in Mrs. Kittinger, it's Ella and Ryan. For Mr. Schodorf, Kendall and Ryder. Third grade, Mrs. Basson, Carter and Brielle. In Miss Danclass class, Raquel. In Mrs. Light, Mateo and Eve. In Mrs. Roser, Rayla and Hudson. And in Mrs. Ward, Maddox and Erilyn. In Mrs. Flannery's class, Raylan and Ashton. In Mrs. Hanson's class, Adelina and Miles. In Mrs. Irwin's class, Amia and Violet. In Miss Sanders, Jenny and Awar. And in Mrs. Schultz, Zara and Lennox. Okay, I'm almost done. Fifth grade, Mrs. Gill, Emma and Gabe. Miss Henry, Lexton and Kyle. And Mr. Murphy, Kalijah and Audrey. In Mrs. Petticourt's class, Jack and Kendall. And in Mrs. Stenforth's class, Vanessa and DJ. Congratulations to all of those winners. I'll be calling you down this week for you to get your coin and for you to pick your book. Let's have an amazing week.
Hey, 5th graders, did you forget to come to the Lincoln Pride meeting Friday? No worries, you can still pick up your application for our after-school choir today at recess. Remind your friends and get excited to sing, dance, and act out the musical I Need a Vacation. Don't we all?
It's time for a January segment called On This Day in History. We will share important historical events that happened on this date in the past.
Let's try on this day in history. History. Astronaut Scott Kelly tweeted a photo of the first flower ever grown in space. The plant was grown in NASA's Veggie Plant Growth System using LED lights.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. At this time, please pause for a moment of silence. It's time for our pause pledge. As a Lincoln Lion, I promise to
Be positive,
act responsibly, work hard, and show respect.
If there are any Lincoln birthdays out there today, we wish you a very happy birthday. May you have one dizzy of a dandy day.
Thanks for tuning into Lincoln Live. Work hard today.
Individually, we are one drop. Together, we are an ocean. Always know that we are one school, one family.
This message was brought to you by Carter.
And Addie.
We hope you have a tongue twister Tuesday.